welcome everyone to the last talk, I guess, here in this track. So, a little bit about me. I'm a CPython code developer. That's the Python programming language all you know. And I also work as a Fedora Cloud Engineer in the Fedora Engineering team for Red Hat. You can easily identify it from here. And so this talk is actually more about demoing stuff rather than me talking about. So I'll try to go through the slides fast so that we can see more stuff. But before anything else, I want to ask you a question. Oh, so there is a slide. So if anyone was here last year, FOSSASIA, so the main day. So yeah, so I gave a small 10 minutes presentation about Python in education, and the night before there was an announcement on internet that BBC is working on something, that device called micro:bit, and this year we have, at least I have one here, and one more gentleman gave a talk I think an hour back, so we're going to talk about it. But let's come to this. What is this? Can you identify? Anyone? I know one person knows. Yes, you can answer.
It's the reboot machine for like breaking World War II.
That sounds almost correct. But anyone else knows what is this?
BBC Micro.
Yeah, BBC Micro. Correct? So that's the computer for the generation before, if you are never used it. So that's one of the most well-known computer at home. People played with it, people learned programming with BASIC, I guess, at that time, and they moved on into other technology. So BBC came up with this idea that because the micro was so successful, if they can have something similar for the kids of our generation, where they can make them again interested into programming, into computers. That's where this device comes into. So that's the picture I took a couple of days back. I have a device, so you can have a look at it later on. So it is called BBC micro:bit. Idea is BBC will give one piece to every class 7 student, that is 11-year-old kids, to every student in UK. That is almost more than 1 million students or 1 million kids. So every one of them will get one of this device, and they can start playing with it, and hopefully they will love to program. So if we go a little bit more details, it's a simple SoC it has 2 different power source, 3.3 battery or USB. These are the few things which are available. There are 2 input buttons, LED matrix 5x5, couple of input output ports, accelerometer, basically give you values in XYZ, and then the digital compass. And the whole thing is running on one Cortex M0 ARM processor, embedded, I guess. In the morning, Bunny's talk, he also talked about the similar processor. So you already heard about this last part, which is only 16 KB RAM. So it's not as powerful as the Raspberry Pi or any other device available, but it's with only one goal: programming. So to build this up, there are many partners who came up together, including Microsoft, obviously ARM, I think Freescale Electronics, Python Software Foundation, and rest of the talk I'm going to talk from that point, the Python. So how many of you already know Python here or ever used it? Anyone? Okay, 2, 3, couple of hands. Nice. So, as you know, Python runs on most of the servers or other like x86 architecture computers, correct? Even on ARM. But there was something which is known as MicroPython. It was written from scratch by this guy, Damien George, for microcontrollers. The idea was that you will be able to run Python, a minimal version, on any microcontroller device like this one. It started for a device called PyBoard. It was a Kickstarter project, which was like an embedded device where you can run Python and then execute. It's written in C++, Python 3.4, that is Python 3 only. And via serial port, it provides you the REPL. That's where we type. So that was the scene with MicroPython. But then obviously this whole microbit thing was coming up, and there was another guy in UK who was very much interested in the thing. His name is Nicholas, or as we call him, ntoll. So he was interested, and he also talked with the rest of the PSF, that is Python Software Foundation, and made sure that PSF becomes a part of the whole thing. And we worked like with the Damien and ntoll. I mean, actually they worked the most and made sure that this MicroPython works on this particular device. So what we have is a particular module, microbit, so which has all the features written particularly for this device, and you can use it to do whatever you want. So no more talking, we'll go into write code so that you can see what it is or what it is not. So okay, and cheese. I guess I have to press F11. Wow. So tell me if you can see this one. Can you see the device now properly? So this is the device. As you can see, there are two input buttons. The LED matrix 5x5, the back of it, and we have the input output here. So there were a couple of tools which were written particularly to help the students. So one of them, the major one, is called MU, which is an editor for microbit, a simple Python editor which anyone can use over Windows, Mac, or Linux, and can write code. So I'm going to run that now. So let me just minimize first. Yeah. So I need to minimize this also. F11? Yeah. Can you see it? I guess the font size is a little bit small, but can you read it? Yeah. So that's MU. So it's written using PyQt project, and it's a very simple editor. Among the other things, you can see that it has a flashing option. So if you connect your device to your computer, it can flash with your source code. For Windows, obviously you will require a driver to be installed, but on Linux or Mac, it just works. And then we can also get the REPL. So this is actually the Python REPL running on this device. So I'm going to do some stuff here, and hopefully move here. Okay. So one of the first module is a display. So we can scroll some text.
Let me hold it for you.
Yeah. So that would be great. Okay. So display scrolls. Let's say FOSSASIA 2016. Oops. Again, I have to get the keys back. Yeah. So yeah, it is passing away too fast here, but you can actually change it. So that's just scrolling the text. You can actually, instead of this, you can just show some text, I guess. Display dot. Sorry.
Type first.
No. So yeah. So let's say A. So that's the A. So, and it already got a couple of image modules where you can use the images to display on this, obviously bit by bit. So maybe I can try one of those. Is first let me clear this. Display dot clear. Okay. So So maybe there are a lot of things, but there is a cow. Let's see if it works. Oh. So that's the cow drawn in a 5x5 bit. So, but how it's going to help? That's one of the major questions, correct? Like why or how this is going to help. So we're going to look into a very basic example. Like when we try to teach programming, one of the few things we talk about is about the syntax and stuff, and then we go into something about called looping. Let's take that as an example. So what is looping? So we do something again and again, correct, with some kind of change in between or maybe no change. So maybe we can look at it in a way that we want to turn on those LEDs one by one. So you can give it as an example. Instead of LED, it can be your fan or electric light at your house. So we're going to turn on them on one by one with a gap of 1 second, I guess. So maybe we can write like for I in range 5, maybe sleep 1, and then directly display dot set pixel I and 1. So this should the one is way too fast. I think it's in milliseconds, not in seconds. So we can still do display dot sleeps, let's say 10, and then zero 1. It's still on, but the brightness, it was done too fast. But that's one of the things. And then obviously there are button inputs. So you can think about writing games like small snake games or two balls hitting each other, things like that. And because it's Python, the same standard Python 3.4 language which we use in our modern computers. So the syntax is exactly the same. There is nothing special or nothing extra. That means if you can teach some kid to write code on these, they should be able to do the similar thing on a computer for a different kind of hardware or different kind of things. So how many of you know the import this in Python? So if let me just take out this thing and bring this. So Control C plus. So if we do Python import this, so this is the Zen of Python, the poem which we follow about how to write program, correct? So Nicholas actually he wrote another one particularly for microbit or MicroPython. So we don't need this.
Yeah.
So
right.
Actually here. So it's small, it's with a simple goal that this device will only do up to that level, and it's all about the message that you can play around with this device, you can do things you want to. And just for fun, because, can you bring it here?
Yeah.
So as I said, we have a couple of other already written modules and things. Camera up. Okay. So let's go back to the Python and we can write something like, so we can do import love. That's the heart beating. So that's so people should be able to write or display the things they want to, but obviously 5x5 basis. And I don't have a speaker with me, so that we have a music module also, so you can actually play music or create music using Python. in this device. And so in my demo, okay, so let's go back to the MU. And so one of the other thing obviously is maybe write your actual program. So let's say I'm writing display dot hello, and I can either save it or I can directly flash the device. If just turn around the device, just show the other side. So
okay.
Yeah. So if you see, if I just click the flash, it is flashing the device. So no conversion happening on my computer level. It's directly flashing the Python code.
Right.
And if you move back, I think it's already gone. So I can just remove it and let it back. And I hope I have a code. Yeah. So here is a stupid code written. I'm saying it's stupid because I know it's for sure that this is a very stupid code, where I'm using the accelerometer module and trying to get the XY value so that we can decide like which way it is pointing, and then emulate a water drop on that LED matrix so that if you move it, it should fall toward that side or not. So I hope, because we are already demoing toward downs, so this should work. So let's flash again. Flashing. No, let's go back to the front.
Yep.
And one LED drop should come. Yes, so I don't know if you can actually notice because it's just one single. Can we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
You can turn it around. Yeah.
So can you see the LED which is on?
No.
No, it's way too bright. Yeah, if you can see now that. Oh. It's a little bit difficult to do the video demo for this. So yeah, so if it is falling back like this, but this is just like a game. So you can actually try to write a snake game where you just turn the device and the snake will make its turn toward that side. So the whole idea about this device is to get kids into programming once again, so that if you remember any of those devices like BBC Micro, like Commodore 64, the computers which we had at home back then, and we had a lot of fun in writing code and stuff. So, and obviously this is not a super big thing in that way, but it still can do Python directly, and there are other editors available like where you can drag and drop online. But this way the kids will be able to learn the same programming language which we use in our daily life, even in enterprises, and use the same technology. So when they will move into the writing other kind of code, it will not be much problem for them. Yep. So the device is actually going into the hands of the kids in UK from March 22nd. That is, I guess, Tuesday. So all the students will start getting their devices, and the source code is obviously already on free software licenses, and the hardware design will also come out after that. So we have to wait till the time everything comes out in public domain, or whichever license they choose. So, but at that time it will be available for everywhere. So like every country, someone can actually print these devices and then sell them locally. So if you want to play with it, I don't think I have much stuff in the demo. So yeah, we need more people to write more, like lot of stuff, like not only the source code, but to more documentation, books, tutorials. So if you want to help, you can just come to has microbit, I guess the channel name on IRC, or there is a mailing list also. So that's my Twitter handle at Kushal Das, and my website. So if you have any question, you want to play with it, you can come forward and do it on the device directly. Like, if you have any questions, anything. Is it too complex? You can come forward if you want to write Python. Like you said that you know Python, correct? So come over if you want to. Yeah. You don't have to say, come over. You can, if you want to write Python here. So. So, and if no more questions, I'll end this talk and we can go back to the other tracks. Thank you.